Hey guys, I hope this video finds you well. I wanted to share a couple of thoughts that I've got and just some things that I've been seeing really work in my life. And anytime I figure something out, man, I absolutely want to pass that along to you guys. There may be 10 people who watch this video and think it is the biggest crock of crap they've ever heard. And then there may be one person who says, I'd like to give that a shot and just see if it works. And you know what? I've experienced that in my own life. I've given things a shot that other people have shared, and some things have worked and some things haven't. So this is something that has worked in my life, and so I wanted to pass it along to you. Now, this isn't something that I figured out a year ago. This is something that I'd heard about before, but I guess I just wasn't in a place where it was time for me to really give it a shot. So in the last month, there have been some changes to what I think about positive and negative experiences. Okay, so I want you to imagine that you're walking down the street. Okay, you're walking down the street, you're minding your own business, but you come from a place of pain and rejection and heartache and letdown and disappointment, and you've been condemned and felt condemned. You don't feel loved. Just a very a dark place, a weak place, right? And you have somebody who, let's say they're standing across the street, and they've got their wrinkled up forehead, they've got a peculiar look on their face, and they're looking in your direction. Now, because you already come from a place of pain and rejection, you perceive them as sending you a negative message. And so because you perceive it as negative, you react in negativity. And so they've got this crazy look on their face, and you respond with, "What are you looking at? Put your eyes back in your head." Now let's face it, folks are hurting, right? And so 9 times out of 10, if you send out something like, "What are you looking at? Put your eyes back in your head," you're probably going to get a negative response, right? And so that person who potentially was sending out negativity, you've now fed that negativity. They've chomped down tight on it, and they're going to give you negativity right back. "You know what? I was looking at you. What do you got to say about it?" And so now there is this whirlwind of negativity that will be pretty difficult to get out of. Even once you walk away from the experience, you're still thinking in your head, "Man, that guy was a real jerk. What was he looking at anyways?" Now you begin to tap into past pain. Now you begin to think, he was probably looking at me because I've got some weight that I need to lose. He was probably looking at me because I got this big old pimple on my neck. He's probably looking at me because I've got wrinkles. He's probably looking at me because, man, do I smell it? You start to overanalyze what he might have been thinking about you because you're so hurt. You're hurting. You're coming from pain. You're coming from a place of rejection. So now you're rejected, and you're going to tap into every single experience that you've potentially been rejected in before. Oh, man. I have experienced that time and time again. Maybe not every situation was as severe as that, but I've definitely encountered a negative experience and walked away, and it's really bothered me for days even. Now let's say that same experience happens, only you're coming from a place of freedom. You're coming from a place of knowing your value, of understanding your worth, of being love and sending out love. And you're walking down the street minding your own business, just loving the day. And someone's really thinking, "God, she should not wear that outfit." And they're giving you some crazy look. But because you are not rejected, you look at that experience of that person looking all crazy, and you respond with, "Hey, how are you?" Now that person, even if they're coming from a place of negativity, maybe they're hurting. Maybe they're feeling rejected. And when you're feeling rejected, you reject others. And so they're thinking these negative thoughts about you, but you've now responded in positivity and love. So even if they continue to send out feelings of rejection, you've now cut off that negativity at the pass, and you've now shed love and light in their direction. So they may be thinking, she really shouldn't wear that outfit ever again. And you respond with, hey, how are you? And they think, well, and they just go on. You've not given anything to that negative vibe. It's going to be real difficult for them to continue to think negative things regarding that experience. It's possible that they're now going to walk away and be like, what the heck was she so happy about? She's probably one of those believers or something. Odd. Okay? Even if she taps into more negative thoughts, it's not going to be because you helped that vortex continue. Now, let's say same situation happens. We've got someone who's giving you a peculiar look, right? And they've got this odd, strange face, and you're coming from a place of rejection, and you say, what are you looking at? Sometimes they were never even sending out a negative vibe in the first place. Maybe that person was thinking, I really like her highlights. I wonder who does her hair. But because we came from a place of rejection, we sent out rejection, and now we may potentially have birthed a negative experience that was never even there. We may have now sent out a negative vibe into that person's life who wasn't even feeling it. And because people are hurting, and because people are broken, and they're, not that they're broken people, but because they come from broken places, they may now walk away and be like, gosh, I was only thinking that girl had great highlights. And now, I mean, why does she respond to me like that? Like, it may cause that person to like now be pushed into this vortex of negative feelings. Right? We come from a place of freedom and we're walking down that street and that person says, I wonder who does her highlights, and that weird face. And we say, hey, how are you? They're going to probably respond with, hey, who does your highlights? I think they are great. Man, where do you get your hair done? I'd love to go have some highlights done like that. And then you respond in love and you're like, yeah, this is who does them, and this is where you can go get them done at. Love was sent out and love was received, and so more love happens. If negativity is sent out and negativity is bought into, more negativity it happens. It's birthed. It continues. That whirlwind goes nuts. If negative vibes are sent out and it's met in love, that negative vibe can only survive for so long before it just ceases to exist, or it moves in a different direction. So I guess I say all that just to say that, man, in the last couple of weeks, I've been walking in this journey, in this thing we call life, and I've been walking more in freedom and understanding more about the fact that I am love, that I don't just have the ability to love, but that I'm the very source of it. And that I have the potential to truly create change. And I can totally cut some negative experiences off at the pass. This isn't something I figured out a long time ago. This is really just brand new for me. And it's working. And so I just encourage you to just think about it. Just consider it. Just consider the idea of it. That you're love and compassion and harmony and peace. And you have the ability to birth more of that all around you. I love you so much. I think you're so worth it. And man, I just encourage you to go out and share love. It's so cheesy, but it's so true. Love you so much. Word.